Welcome to Sport Talk on Enterprise TV, where we give you all the latest from what is happening in the world of sports. If you are joining us for the first time, please do well to follow us across all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. My name is John Olasikomi. Join me and let's ride together. Today we'll be talking about so many things that is happening in the world of sport, from local football to foreign football, and of course in other sports where Djokovic will be in action this afternoon. Of course, joining me virtually is Daniel Osege, making a return back to Sport Talk. Welcome to Sport Talk, Daniel Osege.
Since I last joined you on the show. It was good to be back, and there's lots to talk about, obviously, just like you mentioned, Wimbledon and all of that. So yes, I feel excited to be back on set with you.
All right, so great to have you back on Sport Talk. You know what? We always do it on Sport Talk. Charity begins at home. We always begin with local football. Let's start with one of the finest striker in the world, talking about Victor James Osimhen transfer saga. Nigerian international Victor James Osimhen has informed Napoli to get the deal sealed with Galatasaray regarding his permanent transfer move to the Turkish champions. All right, Daniel, talking about Victor James Osimhen. This has been going on and off. On and off for the past 1 year now. We all know the story about Victor James Osimhen and, of course, Napoli. And now, Osimhen, for me, in my own opinion, I feel Osimhen should not be in this kind of situation as of today. Come on, this is one of the best strikers in the world right now. What is Osimhen going to do at Galatasaray? Do you think most of Nigerian players, or should I say African players, lack what we call agents? They don't have, in my own opinion, I feel they don't always have the right agents when it comes to transfer. Take a look at Osimhen. Osimhen shouldn't be playing his trade in Turkey. So what are your thoughts on Victor James Osimhen moving to Galatasaray in Turkey?
You've spoken very well. Honestly speaking, the Turkish league is obviously not amongst the top 5 leagues in Europe.
Yes,
so you expect that a player who is regarded by many as being one of the top 5 marksmen in football right now should be playing in the top 5 league. Okay, and they didn't do themselves enough justice and showing to the fact that no Turkish team made it to the UEFA Champions League last season.
Yes, of course.
Fenerbahce lost to Lille during the playoffs. Galatasaray couldn't make the cut as well. But they had a decent run in the UEFA Europa League. But the players like Messi have never played the UEFA Europa League. All right, so I'm not saying Victor Osimhen is in that level. Cristiano Ronaldo had a brief stint, playing there with Manchester United.
At what age? You take a look at Cristiano Ronaldo. At what age?
That's true.
It was maybe
we expect Victor to be.
Ronaldo was 38.
Yes, 37 going on 38.
37 going to 38. And this is Osimhen. This is his prime. Osimhen is just 26.
Yeah, you're spot on that. Without what that said, Victor deserves to be playing, top quality football. It's Turkish football, top quality football. It is to a certain extent, but like I said, not being amongst the top 5 leagues, not being guaranteed of Champions League qualification, except you emerge as winners of the league in Turkey, which we know is very difficult because we've got 2 or 3 teams. If you bring in Fenerbahce and Besiktas into the picture,
yes,
it makes it difficult for a guarantee to win the title and qualify directly to the Champions League. But with that said, I think sometimes in life you have to make some decisions based on what makes you happy. Really, it's not always going to be about money. All right. And we know how loved Victor is in Turkey. The Galatasaray fans, right from the get-go, we know how they waited for him at the airport. In the middle of the night for him to arrive, start chanting his name. Have a special song for him. They've his family are settling there. His daughter, is obviously also one who has enjoyed some certain level of stardom in there. All right, and they've shown that they really desire to have him because they unlike usually most loan deals, the parent club and the loaning side share the wages of the players, but if they forget the whole bill for his wages last summer, so they know how much he earns. And for them to still come back for him, all right, it goes to show that they really want him to stay. And so if he feels he can be loved there and he gets paid and is well appreciated, as compared to other teams who are, just dilly-dallying, who haven't shown that desire to really want him. Just maybe, the Turkish league may not be all that bad. And maybe if he proves himself 1 more year or 2 more years, he'll be 28. He can still make a big move. Ojo Igalo made his dream move to United, in his 30s, all right?
Yes, of
and
course.
he forfeited a lot of money, just like we're talking about with Victor here. He forfeited a lot of money in China. It was supposed to be given an improved contract to be earning about 400,000 euros in China, but he forfeited that to earn way less at United just for his dreams to be fulfilled. So I think Victor going to Turkey is not entirely a bad thing. It makes him happy. He's loved and wanted there. Why not? There's still a little bit of time.
Okay. Daniel, I would like to come in now. You talk about Victor James Osimhen. Who says that Osimhen will not be loved in England? Who says Osimhen will not be loved in Spain? Who says Osimhen will not be loved in Germany?
But none of the teams from this club.
They just backed out because they just backed out before. United wanted him, Paris Saint-Germain wanted him, but now only 3 clubs left: Juventus, Al Hilal, and Galatasaray.
See, sometimes I feel those are just paper talks. Yes, and United have proven to be a team that splashes the cash. They give you what you want. Anthony was earning 20,000 euros weekly at Ajax. He moved to United, and boom, he currently earns about 200,000 pounds per week. All right, Brian Mbeumo, who has been in the news, will likely make that move. We know how little he is to earn at Brentford. Look at how much he's been, touted that he's going to be earning in
250,000.
So what that means is, if United really wants him, the wages will not be a problem. For United. United have big earners. They're one of the wealthiest teams in the world. A team in the world. So for them to have backed out, United spent about 80 million with clauses and all of that. Spent 80 million euros to sign Anthony Martial 10 years ago.
Yes, of course.
10 years ago. Yes, that was a prodigy. Victor Osimhen has been proven in Europe. So the transfer fee will not be a problem. The wages will not be a problem. So why are they not going for? Because they really do not desire him. And I think that is where I believe Galatasaray come in. They paid him for a season. They know what he demands. They can, if they are willing to foot the bill, at the end of the day, and he's loved. So it's a win-win for him. He gets the money that he wants, and he also gets the love that he desires to flourish. So it's a win-win situation.
All right, it's a win-win situation. Let's just read Victor James Osimhen well at Galatasaray. Away from Victor James Osimhen transfer saga, let's move straight to WAFCON. Nigeria Super Falcons are poised to gallop into the 2024 Women African Cup of Nations quarterfinals when they take on Botswana in a classic mismatch on Thursday night in Casablanca. Talking about the Super Falcons of Nigeria, I saw their first game against Tunisia. For me, personally, I was not impressed. Although they won 3 goals to nothing. What a fantastic win for them. But for me, I wasn't impressed with what I saw against Tunisia. If they play a better side, or if they had played a better side on that day, they would have lost that game. But because it is Africa, and we are the best team when it comes to women football in Africa. They've won it 9 times, and now they are going in for, they call it Mission X. Like they want to win it for the 10th time, or La Decima. All right, and now we really want to chip in something. When it comes to transitioning, I believe we are not there. Ever since Messi Akide left, they've been trying to look for that number 9. Desire Okparanosey came, she did her own. Perpetua and Water left. We all thought Asisa to Shola will definitely fill that vacuum, but yet she is struggling. Like that. I think the only place that we've gotten a better replacement is in between the stick when Precious Dede left. Then we had Chiamaka Inadozie. And now, so I want to know your thoughts. Do you think we have what it takes to win this WAFCON? But for me, with what I saw against Tunisia, I will still go back to it. I was not impressed at all. Do you think we have what it takes? To go on to win this competition?
Just to give a word dimension to Tochukwu Oliehi, who was the former number one.
Former number one, yes,
before,
of course.
Chiamaka took over. As a matter of fact, she's literally still, number one, so to say, because she still wears the jersey number one, all right, for the Super Falcons. Now she wears number 16. So talking about Oshola, I think we have to take it easy on her because this is the first competition that Oshola has started as a number 9 for the Super Falcons. Okay, in time past, like you said, there's always been desire in the team even before she joined.
That is what I said. That is why I didn't mention her as number 9. That is why I said ever since Perpetua in Wocha left, we need that supporting striker. That's leg that can support our number. But Oshola has not been giving us what we really wanted from her.
Well, she to be fair on her, she can she has some little stats to back that she has done her best. But this is a player who has scored at multiple World Cups for Nigeria.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so she may have not had those what we expect from her, winning maybe top scorer at competitions, dominating and all of that. But like I rightfully said, she's not been opportune to play as a number 9 for the Super Falcons. So it's the primary role of the number 9 to do the needful and put the ball at the back of the net.
Yes, of course.
And yes, to be honest with you, the best of our sister Oshola that we've seen was from our very first WAFCON in 2014, where she blew everyone away. You understand? And ever since, it's not been the same. Okay, but it's it's a different ball game. Club football and international football. All right, she's shown to be a global superstar.
Yes,
at
of course.
Club level. But the African game is also it's improving by the day. Trust me. And just like you said, we didn't put up a good outing against Tunisia. That's because we're not in the 20th century again. When we talk about 1999,
98, 2000, 2000, 2004.
Those are opponents that Nigeria would have whitewashed 6-0. And Oshola wasn't opportune to play in that era. Imagine the amount of goals that Okocha was able to amass. Assistants would have really, because she's extremely fast.
Yes.
All right. So with that alone, she will be able to, with all due respect to the women, you understand, the women game is not as fast as the men's game. But Oshola has shown that she's like the Flash of African women's football, or even globally. You understand? That's one of the reasons why she had a lot of exploits playing in China, because the Chinese ladies couldn't match her pace. All right. So now that she has started playing as a number 9, you understand, she has started well. She's 30 years old. Maybe that's why they want her not to walk too much, and that's why they're giving her the number 9 role. Okay, and she proved that she's a top player anytime in the day. It only took her 4 minutes to get on the score sheet. All right, but it's just that she couldn't add to that tally. And what other better opponents to try to
you know why we not blame Aryna against Tunisia? Because she didn't really get a lot of balls from the midfield. She didn't get that supply from the midfield. Like I said, when it comes to transition, take a look at Rita Chikwelu. Ever since that lady left, we've been lacking that number 10, that creative midfielder, even in the Super Falcons team. And you expect your striker to get more goals. Come on. It is not just 1 + 1 = 2 like that. It doesn't work like that.